Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So here we are reading the Bhagavatam again. Still trapped indoors by the lockdown and snow and ice and sleet and rain. Everything else.
Right, Canto 2, Chapter 9, Text 35.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created, and at the same time I am outside of everything. Purport. The great elements of material creation, namely earth, water, fire, air, and ether, all enter into the body of all manifested entities. The seas, mountains, aquatics, plants, reptiles, birds, beasts, human beings, demigods, and everyone materially manifested, and at the same time such elements are differently situated. In the developed stage of consciousness, a human being can study both physiological and physical science, but the basic principles of such sciences are nothing but material elements and nothing more. The body of the human being and the body of the mountain, as also the bodies of the demigods, including Brahma, are all of the same ingredients, earth, water, etc. At the same time, the elements are beyond the body. The elements were created first, and therefore they enter into the body construction later. But in both circumstances, they enter the cosmos, and also did not enter. Similarly, the Supreme Lord, by his different energies, namely the internal and external, is within everything, in the manifested cosmos, and at the same time he is outside of everything, situated in the kingdom of God, Vaikuntha Loka, as described before. This is very nicely stated in the Brahma Samhita as follows.
Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabis Tabir Yaeva Nija Rupataya Kalabihi Goloka Eva Nivashadya Kilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Translation. I worship the personality of Godhead Govinda, who by expansion of his internal potency of transcendental existence, knowledge and bliss, enjoys in his own and expanded forms. Simultaneously, he enters into every atom of the creation.
Okay, what did you get out of that paragraph?
I have to read it again.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right. This expansion of his plenary parts is also more definitely explained in the same Brahma Samhita 535 as follows. Eko pyasau rachajitam jagananda kotim yachchaktir asti jagananda chaya yadantaha andantarasta paramanu chayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Excuse me, I worship the personality of Godhead, Govinda, who by one of his plenary portions enters into the existence of every universe and every particle of the atoms, and thus unlimitedly manifests his infinite energy all over the material creation.
The impersonalists can imagine or even perceive that the Supreme Brahman is thus all-pervading, and therefore they conclude that there is no possibility of his personal form. Herein lies the mystery of his transcendental knowledge. This mystery is transcendental love of Godhead, and one who is surcharged with such transcendental love of Godhead can, without difficulty, see the personality of Godhead in every atom and every movable or immovable object. And at the same time, he can see the personality of Godhead in his own abode, Goloka, enjoying eternal pastimes with his eternal associates, who are also expansions of his transcendental existence. This vision is the real mystery of spiritual knowledge, as stated by the Lord in the beginning. Sahasyam tad angam cha. This mystery is the most confidential part of the knowledge of the Supreme, and it is possible for the mental speculators to discover...
Impossible.
Oh, yes, sorry. Important point.
Yeah.
And it is impossible for the mental speculators to discover by dint of intellectual gymnastics. The mystery can be revealed through the process recommended by Brahmaji in his Brahma Samhita as follows.
Premanjana chariti bhakti valochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam vindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami.
I worship the original personality of Godhead, Govinda, whom the pure devotees, their eyes smeared with the ointment of love of Godhead. That's a funny word, isn't it? Ointment. Always observe within their hearts. This Govinda, the original personality of Godhead, is Sham Sundar, with all transcendental qualities. I was looking up the word now.
Well, ointment means lotion.
Yeah, ointment.
I know that. Just wanted to
It
see
just
if there was
sounds funny because it sounds like a pig. Oink. Ointment.
Not ointment. It's Middle English alteration of an Old French oignement from a popular Latin form of unguentum,
Okay.
influenced by obsolete oint, anoint, from Old French, past participle of oindre, anoint.
All right.
Well, now you know. Okay. So this is, isn't it verse 3?
Yeah, free.
Therefore, although he is present in every atom, the Supreme Personality of Godhead may not be visible to the dry speculators. Still, the mystery is unfolded before the eyes of the pure devotees, because their eyes are anointed with love of Godhead. And this love of Godhead can be attained only by the practice of transcendental loving service of the Lord and nothing else. The vision of the devotees is not ordinary. It is purified by the process of devotional service. In other words, as the universal elements are both within and without, similarly, the Lord's name, form, quality, pastimes, entourage, etc., as they are described in the revealed scriptures or as performed in the Vaikuntha Lokas, far, far beyond the material cosmic manifestation, are factually being televised in the heart of the devotee. That's the place. I can't believe it. I've looked for this so many times. Interesting. We'll come back to that. But this point is important. I mean, of course, this is like the longest sentence on the planet. Mm-hmm. In other words, as the universal elements are both within us and without, similarly the Lord's name, form, quality, pastimes, entourage, as they are described in the revealed scriptures or as performed in the Vaikuntha Lokas, So that means the name, form, quality, pastimes, primarily pastimes, are being performed in the Vaikuntha Lokas, but all the rest is there, far, far beyond the cosmic manifestation, are factually being televised in the heart of the devotee. Basically, the concept is that, it's like transmission from the spiritual world to the heart of the devotee through the supersoul. So as one progresses in the beginning or whatever, the supersoul just tells us, oh, I shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that. But as one becomes more advanced devotionally and spiritually, then actually the Lord becomes personally manifest within his heart, because the pastimes of the Vaikuntha world are being transmitted through the heart. And that's why when we come in contact with that sound vibration through reading Srila Prabhupada's books, initially, many devotees share that their experience when they first read the books, and I personally also the same, when I was reading it, I was thinking, oh, that's true. I just knew it was true. It just made sense. It resonated. So that, because from within our hearts, that connection to the spiritual world is there. So when we hear that externally, then it resonates with the internal, which is being transmitted or televised, as Prabhupada says, from the spiritual world. So anyway, I'll carry on reading. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. The man with a poor fund of knowledge cannot understand, although by material science one can see things far away by means of television. Factually, the spiritually developed person is able to have the television of the kingdom of God always reflected within his heart. This is the purport I've thought about many times, but couldn't find it. That is the mystery of knowledge of the personality of Godhead. Yeah, television within the heart, transmitting the spiritual world. This is important.
Okay. The Lord... Oh,
it's okay.
Oh, please expand.
No, does it not make sense to you? Do you not get it? Or
I get it. It's like, you mean like Sanjaya, that he was having the vision transported when he was speaking to Dhritarashtra about what was going on the battlefield?
Yeah, like that, yeah. But more, it's like, the point of that I've understood so far from this whole purport and the verse, you read it in the beginning. O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Okay, that sounds, but I think that was explained in the first part. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created, and at the same time I'm outside of everything. So this is kind of explaining how the Lord is there within the heart. It's like a television transmission. I know I keep going on about that, but we need to tune in. It's like we need to these terms resonate and tune in, and that's it's there because it's already happening in here. Because the Lord is present in there, and there's a direct connection with the spiritual realm. But we need to tune into the frequency, we need to...
Yeah, we used to have a TV like that. Makes me sound like a very old person. And you had to tune it like this to get the channels. I remember they used to play the channels all the time. I might have even broken it, but yeah, we had to go like that. And it'd be like fuzzy, and then a picture would come up. So, okay, leave that program.
Wow, that's very old.
I know, I must have been like 1 year old or something.
Of course, yeah, anyway.
I do remember that though. My dad would collaborate that.
Okay. We'll speak to him.
But then I'm just saying, then I get what you're saying now, because you had to keep tuning it until you got
until the picture became clear.
Yeah, and then
it's the same for us. If we're not regularly tuning into that frequency, then we're going to be tuned into another frequency. And because we're encased in a body, because we have this material body, then naturally the material body resonates with the material energy, with the external energy, and wants to be fed, wants to be watered, wants to be entertained with the eyes and with the ears, and so it naturally resonates with the external. But when we tune in to the frequency of the spiritual vibration, then the externals, the senses especially, they become satiated. They become satisfied. So they're not really so interested in that. They're just naturally not. It's not like it shouldn't be a kind of I have to restrict myself. The problem why we have to restrict ourselves basically is because we are not tuned in to the spiritual, we're not getting that higher taste, that param drishtva navartate that Krishna speaks about in the Bhagavad Gita. And unless we get that higher taste, we're not going to lose the taste for the material, the mundane. So, because the spirit soul by nature pleasure seeking, so we're looking for pleasures, and the pleasures of the flesh, as it were, the pleasures of the skin, of the externals, is a natural thing for us as conditioned, embodied living entities. But but as spiritual beings, the more that we tune in, the more that we'll start to watch the television and hear, and maybe less of the television out there. Oh, maybe, yeah. There you go. Okay, let's continue. Seed verse of the Bhagavatam.
All right. The Lord can award anyone and everyone liberation, mukti, from the bondage of material existence. Yet he really awards the privilege of love of Godhead as confirmed by Narada. Muktim dadati kahichit smana bhakti yogam. This transcendental devotional service of the Lord is so wonderful that the occupation keeps the deserving devotee always wrapped in psychological activities, without deviation from the absolute touch. Thus, love of Godhead developed in the heart of the devotee is a great mystery. Brahmaji previously told Narada that the desires of Brahmaji are never unfulfilled, because he is always absorbed in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Nor has he any desire in his heart save and except the transcendental service of the Lord. That is the beauty and mystery of the process of Bhakti Yoga. As the Lord's desire is infallible because he is a Achyuta, similarly the desires of the devotees in the transcendental service of the Lord are also Achyuta, infallible. This is very difficult, however, for the layman to understand without knowledge of the mystery of devotional service, as it is very difficult to know the potency of touchstone. As touchstone is rarely found, a pure devotee of the Lord is also rarely to be seen, even amongst millions of liberated souls. Quotis api mahamuni. Out of all kinds of perfections attained by the process of knowledge, yoga perfection in devotional service is the highest of all, and the most mysterious also, even more mysterious than the 8 kinds of mystic perfection attained by the process of yogic performances. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord therefore advised Arjuna about this Bhakti Yoga. Sarva guataman bhuya shrinu me paramam vacha. Just hear from me again about the most confidential part of the instructions in Bhagavad Gita. The same was confirmed by Brahmaji to Narada in the following words. Idam Bhagavatam nama yanme Bhagavata ditam sangrayo yam vibhutinam tvam etad vipuli kuru. Brahmaji said to Narada, whatever I have spoken to you about the Bhagavatam was explained to me by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I am advising you to expand these topics nicely, so that people may easily understand the mysterious Bhakti Yoga, by transcendental loving service to the Lord. It is to be noted here that the mystery of Bhakti Yoga was disclosed to Brahmaji by the Lord himself. Brahmaji explained the same mystery to Narada. Narada explained it to Vyasa, Vyasa explained it to Sukadeva Goswami, and that same knowledge is coming down in the unalloyed chain of disciplic succession. If one is fortunate enough to have received the knowledge in the transcendental disciplic succession, surely he will have the chance to understand the mystery of the Lord, and that of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the sound incarnation of the Lord.
What a paragraph. So, yeah, I thought it was interesting, this point that the desires of the Lord are achyuta, infallible. So it says that the desires of the pure devotee, they're also achyuta, and that's the transcendental mystery. That how the desires of the Lord can be as pure and infallible as the desires of the of the devotee. The desires of the devotee are the same as the desires of the Lord. So, Prabhupada tries to explain it here. It's confidential, and it has to be passed down from from teacher to student, guru to disciple, and then that is how we receive it. So it means that our desires are, if we're devotees, for our desires to be infallible means that they have to be completely, in one sense, aligned with the disciplic succession and with the desire of the Supreme Lord, like that. So, what did you make of that?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, that was easy. So that's verse 3 of the Chatur Shloki, which was text 35, 935, Bhagavatam, Canto 2, 9th chapter, text 35, third verse of the Chatur Shloki. Do we want to go ahead and start the next one?
I think we should do the next one like separate, like we've been doing each verse, and then we just focusing on these important verses.
Okay. So, anything else you wanted to say about this voice purport?
No. No, it's just about the importance of hearing from the right source.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it says that if you have the chance to understand the mystery of the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
But it's very, it does say if you're fortunate enough to have received the knowledge in the transcendental disciplic succession. So it's
Which
very,
we are.
Yeah.
And which you are. You're also hearing. We're hearing from the source.
Yeah.
So you were saying about that point, though?
Yeah, was. That is, because you have to be very sharp and careful. We were discussing with the devotees, well, yesterday actually, about the importance of association, and especially at the moment because our association is mainly online. So devotees are trying to, because they can't physically associate, come to the temple, be around others. So everyone's logging on to different seminars or classes or discovering these, discovering what the internet can offer you. So we were saying it's very important, however, to remain chaste to the particular line we're in, not in a way to say this is this way or the
my way or the highway.
Yeah, my way or the highway. Not in that mood, but this is a line we've chosen. And as Prabhupada would also emphasize, to be chaste to it, because you just could pick up the same book by someone completely different, or maybe even on the same branch of the same tree. But if it's just something, one word or something, just the way it's interpreted or explained is different, then that can be quite dangerous. So we're just talking about in terms of importance of association and how it comes in different ways, and it's not just physical. So I was just thinking, reading this where it says if you're very fortunate to come in a disciplic succession and hear, it is good fortune, and it's some sort of mercy that we've received, And we should take advantage, and even though Prabhupada's physically not here, we're so fortunate that he did spend literally his last breath,
Translating.
and that means, what does that mean? It's like, so we should look at the pure devotee and what did he focus on and what was his emphasis. Well, one of the things was definitely his books and the translating. So what is it about these books, and why did he, he could have said, forget that, I need to chant, or he could have created another atmosphere for himself towards the end, but he didn't. And so now we should be greedy for it. Well, what is it? I'm gonna have to look into this now.
Well, yeah, those are great points, actually. Just on that point about what is this book, the end of the paragraph says, Srimad Bhagavatam, the sound incarnation of the Lord. Yes. So, Bhagavatam is the sound incarnation of the Lord. So we're hearing from, basically what we're doing is we're tuning in when we're listening, right? We're tuning in to that frequency is the spiritual world, and it's here because it's non-different. The Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. So when we read Bhagavatam, we're tuning into that world. So we should do it daily. We should do it often, daily, multiple times daily. You know?
Yeah.
We have to stay in tune. You have to stay tuned up. You have to stay in shape, and that means regular hearing and chanting.
Yeah, and then I think we read it in this canto, actually, second canto, in one of the previous readings, that when Prabhupada says in the purport, we are as good as, not when I say as good as, that might be wrong, but, we are like Brahmaji sitting on that lotus. Remember that phrase? He put it in the purport when we engage in devotional service and hearing. Is as good as like the way Brahmaji was sitting on that lotus flower that's sprouting out of Mahavishnu and getting the instruction. That's quite powerful. I'm going to have to find that one. That's quite powerful. If we come in the disciplic succession, that's the important point. So again, all glories to Prabhupada that he let us come at the end of the disciplic succession in here.
Yeah,
really.
Nice. At the end of the disciplic succession.
Yeah, like the end of it.
Where's the end of it?
Yeah, no, it ain't finished, but meaning we're like
we're at the back of the queue.
End of it, meaning started with Krishna, all the way down, Bhaktivedanta, Maharaj, Prabhupada, his disciples, us. Yeah. Without getting into a rip conversation. But yeah, so we're at the end of it.
Yeah.
The fruit has been passed down and we're at the end. Passed from
Prabhupada to Guru Maharaj. But we're not at the end, and that's my point also.
Why?
Well, you should be passing it on to someone. Are you passing it on to someone?
Oh,
and are they passing it on to people?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're not at the end.
All right.
Okay, but this is
the end.
Okay, see you guys later. Haribol.